So hello and welcome to this week's angling vlog. This week you join me out on the bank and we're in search of pike. So over the past couple of weeks you might have noticed there has been quite a lot of stick float fishing on the channel and not much of the pike fishing that you normally see on the channel. Unfortunately this year work has been super busy, which has meant taking time off at times hasn't been an option. I would normally go on a Sunday for a bit of piking, but a lot of you on the channel know my little lad Joshy. He has started playing rugby and following in my footsteps a little bit, although I did play league, not union. But he has started playing rugby on a Sunday, and this has meant that my Sunday mornings are taking my little lad to play rugby. And as you know, the kids grow up really quickly, and it's something that I really don't want to miss out on. For the past couple of weeks he has been playing away quite a bit, and getting out after the game is impossible, but today he finished about 12 o'clock, so I've grabbed the pike rods and headed to the canal. What I'm hoping to do is to make the most of these few hours every week, and hopefully it'll come together to make a video. So the canal behind me has got plenty of colour in it, and over the years gone by it would have really put me off, but there is a session on the channel up here where the canal was like this and we had a very good session. We're going to be fishing about 1:30 till about 4 o'clock, 4:30, and hopefully we can get one pike on the bank. So the rods are in the water, and to be honest with you, they were the first thing I did when I arrived. I've got one just down the margin, a foot from the bank, and yeah, a lot of people ignore that inside line, even on clear canals first thing in the morning. But on a canal this coloured, if a pike's going down that wall and a pike's going down this wall, they're not going to pop their head out and go, hey up, I'm on the wrong side of the canal, I should only be on that side. The pike will be patrolling either side. So we've got that down there to pick up anything coming down this line, and then the obvious cover over there, we've got the float right up against it. So we've got both options covered. I cover this tip quite a bit on the channel. I always have my rods at an angle with the butt in the air. It lets any joggers, dog walkers, anything like that see your rod, and it keeps the braid underneath the toe of the canal and any leaves and debris, so your braid sinks and goes to your float. So I'll quickly go over the setup, and the beauty of this type of fishing for me is it's all set up. I leave my rod set up in the house, so it is a case of just attaching the trace. I've got a Corem Zelos reel on there, and I've got 60-pound Fox braid. I've got one of the Predator Elite deadbait rods, X, it's 12 foot and a 3.25 pound test curve. Again, I have two rods for all my piking, so I can use them on lakes, rivers, canals, leave them set up, and I only have two rods that I can take anywhere. So I've got two float stops on the braid to stop the float. I've got one of the new Fox beads, and they're bigger so they don't go through the top eye on your rod. I've got a nice deadbait pencil, nice and light, and it's going to give me that sensitivity on the canal. We've got a 25 gram weight. In that we've got a quick change swivel, and on there I've got my 18-inch homemade wire trace. To start off with, we're going to go with a mackerel. Nice smelly bait in that coloured water that hopefully the pike are going to sniff out and find. So on this video I'm just going to cover the basics, and they'll probably be the same on every session I go, because I'm going to have to stay local if I'm going to go. So working on smell, I've got sardines, mackerel and smelt. Now you wouldn't think smelt have got much smell, and they haven't really. That is a pure confidence thing. I love smelt and I catch everywhere I've been on them. So I've brought three baits so I can't confuse myself. I'm going to start off on a mackerel, and we've got some change baits if you want to change. And one of the reasons I think this is going to work is how easy pike fishing is to prepare for. Minimum tackle, I've got my hold all, and in there I've got all my tackle boxes. My dead baits go in the hold all. I've got my rod hold all there, which is the transition one from Corem. My rods go in that, my bait alarms, and my tripod for recording and taking pictures. And I've literally got my unhooking mat as well. That, along with my net, I've got everything I need to get out on the bank really quickly. So when he finishes rugby, in the house, grab the gear and get out. I do get questions why I pick certain floats, and on a canal I will always use a pencil, purely because of the sensitivity. I'm about to move this rod a bit further down the canal, but if you look there, the little amount of movement that it takes, I'm just literally moving my rod just like that a little bit, but you can see straight away we're right up to that knot like that, and any movement the float's going to get them ripples coming off. It's going to let you know straight away that there's a pike about. So after a bit of waiting, finally got a run and just showing that inside line can produce fish. Just dropping it down there, and we might have got what we've come for. The lads finished rugby, I've nipped out, and we've got a run. And my plan with these sessions is to begin to put a few of them together in one video for the times where I can just nick an hour or two around a new changing lifestyle. My little lad this morning scored his first try. I've nipped out, and it might be we only catch one pike, but if we keep doing it every so often, I think it'll make a nice video on opportunistic fishing. Let's get it in and take a look. So there we go, what a beautiful pike. Just creeping over 10 pound, and yeah, well worth the effort. Getting out, the gear set up, and like I say, we come for one pike and we've got it. It's about 3 o'clock now, so we've got about an hour left. So we're going to quickly get this pike back, get the rod back out, and who knows, we might pick up one more. And although we are in a rush and time is of the essence, always give the time for the pike to rest. She's down there, we can sort the rod back out, get it baited up, and then we'll let her go. So the rod's sorted, time for this pike to go back. You see there, more than ready. And a double from this bit is a good fish. The rods are back out on the spot. Fish has gone back like you've seen. We've probably got maybe an hour left. Like I said, I don't know what the lighting's going to be like on here. And we've got the rod back down the margin. I'm proper made up that rod's gone, because hopefully it helps a couple of guys out. When I'm walking the canal, walking the dog, I see a lot of people fishing for pike. Not many of them fish a foot from the bank. So yeah, like always on the channel, just try to pass on them hints and tips that I've picked up along the way. It might help one or two people out. At the end of the day, it's fishing. We're all trying to catch fish, and we should always try to help each other. So the light levels are going. The camera is making it look better than it is. Cameras are really good in this day and age. Now, if I am going to target the margins on a venue and come back, I'm definitely not going to be back on here for a week. But just drop the odd bait down the margin. Now, I would normally say refreeze your baits and take them next time. I only do this if I'm going to target them. Fish are creatures of habit, and if Mr. Pike is coming along here finding the odd bait every now and again, it's going to come and check. It's going to expect there to be food down there. So it's going to do no harm if I'm not going to be here for the week and then finding the odd bait down there. So as you can see from that bit of footage, we're back out on the bank. It's a dull, overcast day. Got a day off work. In fact, it's the first day of a week. And at the start of this video, I did hope to get out more on Sundays after the lads' rugby. The good news is he's doing really well. The bad news, he had a lot of away games up to Preston and all over, playing the Union. And it's meant I've not been able to get out for pike till today. But really good this morning, getting up on a Monday, not logging into work, loading the car and heading out fishing. I've wasted no time at all getting the rods out, like you can see on screen now. Put them over an area, there's plenty of fish topping, and I'm confident of getting a back. So all the gear's sorted behind me, got my chair, all nicely organised. Spinning round, the rods are all in. Got a rod to the right, and that is on a mackerel, and we've got a rod to the left, and that is on a smelt. When they come on the pool, normally I would say set up in an area where you see fish topping, but all the way around this fish, little roach topping, all down this edge here and in this corner and all the way along. So yeah, you see one on the back of the breeze there as well. So we've got two rods out on dead baits, and I'm going to make a start on the lure rod. Just have a bit of a cast about, really warm myself up, and we might have a bit of a wobble later on as well. One of the beauties of doing the blog is you can look back over other years and see how you did, and we did quite well on the wobble on here in previous years. So the rods are in. Let's have a go on the lure and see how we do. So we've recast both the baits. Had a good go with the lure and we lost one, didn't we? Yeah, Snag Bros would be proud with that hook setting or lack of. I'm going to sit back, I'm going to have a coffee, start the morning. It's about 8:30 now, so still early morning. The rods are out. We've just got to hope that one of them comes alive and moves off. The forecast is for a bit of drizzle, and we've had a bit already, but nothing we can't handle, hopefully. Mr. Weatherman gets it right. We'll go over the bait choices of what I brought with me today, and like I said, I have been to the venue before, so I do know what to expect. So got sardines, a nice visual bait. I knew the conditions would be semi-clear today, you know, clear water, so I brought a nice visual but smelly bait in case there was a bit of colour overnight. My favourite bait of all, the smelt, which allows me to wobble a bait, but also, you know, with quite a few jacks in the venue, that nice smaller food item. We've got some mackerel as well, some bigger mackerel and some smaller ones, and we've got a natural bait in roach. So if you want to suspend the bait or do anything like that, we've got some roach, and they are excellent quality as well. So on previous sessions on here, it's been normally the mornings that have been really good. It's been quite frantic, and then the afternoons have quietened off a bit, so it's been quite a quiet start to the session. I was hoping to pick up one or two bites. What I'm going to do is I'm exploring a bit more of the area. I've had the deeper out and there are fish in the area, so I've just suspended a bait a few foot down on a roach. So hopefully, you know, if the bigger fish are in them higher layers, the pike are coming up and looking up. So we're trying all we can. A gentleman's coming by the car park, so moving back towards the car park's not an option really now. So that roach bait that we've got suspended, it's been out probably 5 minutes and it bolted under and it's come back up. We've had that activity down there this morning, so there's definitely a few pike about. But we'll just give it a few switches and hopefully Mr. Pike comes back. But it is beginning to feel like one of them mornings where you miss a few opportunities. We could be sat here now with 2 pike. Yeah, just moving the float onto a ledger and this float rod's moved away. We'll give it a few moments just to take it. It's come off, it's just the way today is going. Oh, so we're not having the best of starts. We've lost one on the lure, we've had a drop take on the other rod, and then we've just lost one on the mackerel. So yeah, it's just the way it goes sometimes. What you got to do is you just got to get the bait back out there and remain confident. So the rod's back out there now and we just got to hope it goes again. Our luck changes. And the pike's just rolled right there. So now I'm thinking, am I doing the right thing in swapping over to a ledger which was supposed to go further out into the deeper water. It can be difficult at times piking, but I'm going to stick to my guns. I think with that rod there with the suspended roach, we can search the close in water a bit more, and with this one we'll go searching the deeper a bit with the ledger. The one good thing about the ledger is it's dead easy to change over. You've got your ledger stem, a big lead on the end, a Dinsmore gripper lead. You got a stop bead, your swivel, your wire trace down to the bait. So let's get this bait out and then I think we'll move that roach suspended a bit closer in. So after a few lost fish, it's taken a while coming. I was just sat back, just watching the float slide away. And it feels good to have finally got one hooked up. And it's the way piking goes sometimes. Sometimes it's all very easy, and other times you've just got to work at it a little bit more. And the interesting thing about this pike, I've just unhooked it in the margin, and we'll give it a rest before we do a blog. And we lost the pike earlier on a mackerel, and that was in its mouth, so that's the exact same pike that we lost earlier on. You can see there my bait is well on its way into its stomach. The hooks are out, but one greedy pike. So there we go, what a beautiful pike that is. And my pike fishing this year has been really opportunistic, you know, getting out after Joshua's rugby and things like that. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and it just shows that it doesn't always go to plan. We've got an hour or two left. We got our own back on this guy. Let's get it straight back. So giving her a good rest in the margin, and I have a big thank you to say to my mate Tony, because I left me normal pike net at home. I always have one of the cordon nets in the bag, but he lent me his handle today, a spare handle. So yeah, he saved me from having to go home. So thank you very much, Tony. And yeah, you see that pike, more than ready to go back. You see there, whoa, more than ready to go back. And when I said pike have feeding periods, you see there, that rod just moving off. So the opportunist rod, again, coming up trumps with a rod just placed off the spot, picking up them extra fish. It's a beautiful little jack. And that sums up fishing on winter piking in a nutshell. You take the ups and the downs. We've lost fish today, we've missed chances, and then in a window that's, what, 20 minutes, we've had 2 runs, 2 pike on the bank. The rods are back out, most definitely. You've got to make the most of those windows of opportunity. Got probably about 2 hours left before we got to pack in, but one happy Danny. So the session does come to an end there now, and I really do hope you've enjoyed this video on the channel where we've been out on 2 sessions on the bank, one on the canal, one on a lake, hunting for pike. I just want to say again a huge thank you to everybody that's left a nice comments around, you know, being able to get out for pike and do the different fishing that I would normally do. It really is appreciated, and thank you all very much. So there's about 15 minutes of the session left, and if we get any more pike, I'll pop them on screen now. But all that remains is for me to wish you all tight lines in your own fishing, and I'll catch us all next week. Tight lines.